I am Grady Colane in the CapeCod.com News Center, joined by a special guest who's running for Cape and Islands State Representative. Do you mind just introducing yourself for our listeners?
Good afternoon, Grady. Thanks for having me. My name is Thomas Moakley. I'm a candidate for state representative in the Barnstable, Dukes, and Nantucket district, including parts of Falmouth, all of Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, and the town of Gosnell.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for finding the time to have this conversation with me today. I really appreciate it. We heard that you have received quite a number of endorsements from a lot of justice system officials, ranging from Cape and Islands District Attorney Robert Galibois to Barnstable County Sheriff Donna Buckley, among others. Do you mind just giving us your reaction, your comments, your thoughts on receiving these endorsements?
Sure. So I think that the list that you're referring to includes, as you said, the district attorney, Rob Galibois, the Barnstable County Sheriff, Donna Buckley, the Nantucket County Sheriff, Jim Perelman, and the Dukes County Clerk of Courts, George Davis. And, I'm very touched. I'm humbled to have the support of each of those distinguished people, each of whom is doing a lot in their respective positions to transform the justice system in a positive way to make it more efficient, more fair for everybody who's involved. But I also hope that to the larger public, the endorsements show not only that those people of character and intelligence are supporting my campaign, but also that I have the ability to grow relationships like that and maintain positive collaborations with other elected officials. Because although I'm a Democrat, and that's important to me, but because I think being a Democrat means believing in what good government can do and what's possible about the future, before any partisan affiliation, a good state representative maintains those positive and collaborative relationships. And that takes some work, putting the care and putting the communication into those relationships. And so that's what I want to bring to Beacon Hill. And I hope that as I've earned the support of those individuals, that I can continue to earn it every day, as I hope to do so with all the voters in the district as well.
hmm Now, as well, a lot of them highlighted some of your past experiences, including Robert Galibois pointed out your involvement in Martha's Vineyard's first recovery court, and several others, including Donna Buckley, kind of mentioned how this they believe that your methodologies align with this idea of treatment and trying to help out people who are in the criminal justice system and recovery, especially. Can you just elaborate a little bit more about your work on Martha's Vineyard and how that plays into your campaign now?
Sure. And it's all about taking a holistic approach to criminal justice. I spent most of my time at the district attorney's office as the prosecutor responsible for the Edgartown District Court and the Martha's Vineyard Juvenile Courts. And so in each individual case, you have to consider what is the best possible outcome. And as a prosecutor, your responsibility is to achieving justice to the best of your ability in each individual case. That's contrary to, say, for example, a defense attorney's ethical obligation, which is to pursue zealously the best possible outcome for their client. For prosecutors, it's not necessarily all about convictions. Now, granted, in some cases, that is the best result. And in some cases, requesting the judge to send an individual to the House of Corrections may be the appropriate outcome. But for most cases in the district court, we're talking about some intermediate levels of sanctions, which in a lot of cases is setting someone up on probation with conditions that hopefully will lead them to a path of recovery based on whatever their ultimate issue might be. Now, what a recovery court is it's a specialty session where a judge will come in an extra day for the court day, and those who are participating in the program will start off coming into court physically every week, present being the judge, the probation officer, their attorney, the assistant district attorney who's assigned to that court, maybe some police officers, some other court staff, and all the other people who are participating in the recovery court. And a lot of what happens during those sessions is everybody takes their turn and just sort of tells the judge what's going on in their life. And so it's a way to show people that the court system and all those who are involved, even on the prosecution side, even on the police side, are really trying to do what's best for them and for the community. And so if we can connect individuals suffering from addiction with services that are out there, then maybe we won't ever see them in the court system again, rather than simply turning them in and out of jail until they come right back to the court system in the first place because of this disease that they suffer from.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, avoiding that revolving door issue, unfortunately. Now, a lot of this conversation has been focusing on law and justice because that's where the endorsements are coming from. It's also where primarily your experience relies. But of course, the seat that you are seeking covers a lot of different issues, from water quality to migration. Is there other stuff that you wanted to highlight as part of your campaign platform while I still have you? Just emphasize maybe some of the most recent conversations or hot topics at some of your regular coffee hours, or some of the questions you've been seeing from your from stakeholders.
Sure. As you just highlighted, I've been having coffee hours across the district. I've been talking to a lot of the different stakeholders and people who are running nonprofits, who are involved in local town governments, about all the other issues um, that are present, and that are, frankly, some of which are existential threats to our region, and many of which disproportionately impact young people, including affordable housing. And I'm very excited and supportive of the governor's affordable housing bill. Some of those provisions are already in place here. For example, the accessory dwelling unit provision, which is by right, which is already in effect in Falmouth and Nantucket. Um, then the real estate transfer fee, which I think is going to be extremely effective at increasing the amount of funding available for building both new housing stock, as well as converting other existing housing into more affordable housing too. Um, uh, and so those are just some of the other things that I've been working on lately and learning more about as I go around having these conversations. I also participate in the Upper Cape Women's Coalition rally for Roe on the anniversary of the Roe decision. And I was happy to pledge to support uh, the proliferating the access to uh, women's reproductive rights during my time in office as well.
All right. Thank you so much for having this conversation with me, Tom. We really appreciate it. Before we wrap up, we're about coming up on time, but any final words you wanted to add for our listeners, maybe where they can learn more about your campaign?
Sure. Once again, thanks for having me. I'm always a fan of spending some time with you, hearing your dulcet tones. I imagine that you ought to send in some reels for voice acting or something like that. But anybody who's looking to learn more about the campaign is welcome to log on to thomasmoakley.com, ThomasMoakley.com. All my contact information is there. It's a very large geographic area, so I'm looking for a lot of volunteers and financial support, kind of all that sort of stuff that goes along with running a professional campaign. So we're hitting the ground running. Going to keep doing so. And thanks for your time.
All right, awesome. A big thank you to Thomas Moakley for joining us for this conversation. I'm Grady Collane in the CapeCod.com News Center.